Welcome, listeners. You are here, Fret Talk, episode number 19. 19 already. How is this even happening? You're here with your host, Budget Pedal Chap. You are also joined by podcast regular Paul Mason and other regular as well, Matt Quine. Say hi, guys.
Good evening. Hi, guys.
He's not as regular as regular, but, you know.
Well, I mean, if we were to have like a dream team podcast group, I think this probably would be it.
The strange thing is, between me and Matt, you've also got the most cynical podcast group.
Well, it makes for entertainment, doesn't it? So, what have we been up to this week? We're gonna start with Matt because you had quite an interesting week this week, didn't you?
I did. There was a group of us from the Guitar Forum went down to a guy called Steve's house for what we've dubbed as Fret Fest 2. We did it earlier on in the year, and then again this weekend we basically I went to Steve's on a Friday night, met up with Chris Wilson of podcast fame and Carl Henrik, who's from Denmark, who's not been on the cast yet. And then on the Saturday, we took a long trip. I think it was about 2.5 hours in the car up to Peach Guitars, which is outside Chelmsford, I think. Begins with a C. I don't do the UK. It's northeast of London.
Yeah.
If that helps.
That's just south to me.
It's all just over there to me, being from the Isle of Man. But yeah, so we went up there to Peach Guitars, and boy, is that a massive shop! It's just like 40 times the size of the local music shop that I've got. They had a room full of Gibson custom shops, a room full of Fender custom shops, a room with just PRS and Suhrs with a couple of exotics and things like that. And then their main room has just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of standard Fenders, standard Gibsons. It's got Charvel, Jackson, just every brand you can think of. And then in a couple of little rooms downstairs, they've got like a Taylor room that was built by Taylor, kitted out by Taylor, and then they've got a Martin room, which again, Martin gave them a load of fittings, Martin gave them a load of stands. There's like displays on the walls. It's just absolutely mental.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to kind of come up with a guitar shop out of like your wildest dreams, I don't think you'd even come close to how awesome this place is.
No, it's just absolutely amazing. I've never been anywhere like it. Like a couple of years ago was the first time I'd been to GAC, and I thought that was ginormous and just amazing. But this just GAC pales in comparison. I would say GAC is maybe a third of the size, maybe even a quarter. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
Don't Peach get guitar sent to them exclusively from Fender as well? Like guitars that they won't send to anybody else but Peach?
Yeah, so when they when the guy who runs Peach specs custom shops, he gets things that other shops wouldn't be able to spec on them. They did a Peach 25th anniversary Strat, which had the Gary Moore Strat pickups, which Fender didn't put in anything else apart from the Gary Moore Strat and the Peach Strat.
Right.
So yeah, they just get all sorts of stuff because they're such a good customer.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand why with the amount of stock that they've got. So
yeah,
out of your trip to Peach, which I am thoroughly jealous about, and I've got to make a pilgrimage there myself one day. It's unfortunate that I can't actually make Fretfest, but so out of all of those guitars, which was the kind of standout for you?
The standout guitar in terms of just being amazing was a Fender custom shop. I think they call it a Carrillo. It's got a TV Jones in the neck and a twisted telly in the bridge, and it was blue sparkle with a maple neck, and it just played absolutely fantastically. I tried it through a Morgan AC20, or it's basically whatever Morgan's version of the AC series. They probably call it something else, but it's basically a copy of an AC. And through that, it was just an absolutely fantastic guitar to play. I played a couple of Gibson custom shops. I played a 2018 Gibson Les Paul Standard, played a few others, but that blew everything else out of the water for me.
Yeah. Just quickly as well. How was the 2018 Gibson? Because I know we've railed on them a lot recently, but I mean the proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
It was absolutely fantastic. All of us played it. All of us went into it thinking it's just going to be poor in comparison to the custom shops that we played alongside it, but all of us were pleasantly surprised. There was no quality control issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it played like a dream. It was a little bit slim, the neck for me. I quite like a big, fat, chunky neck, and this was a little bit slimmer. It was more like a 50s neck than a 60s.
It's a bit of an odd kink there, Matt. Liking a big, chunky neck. But whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, but yeah, I was really impressed by the 2018 Les Paul Standard, as was everybody, including Steve, who, as we all know, likes his custom shop Gibsons, but he was impressed by it as well.
Yeah, I think it's pertinent to mention that Steve himself is probably the second biggest guitar shop in the world. I mean, he makes he gives Peach a good run for their money, and he's only a personal collector and not a retailer.
Yeah, if you want to go by retailers, that's Chris Wilson.
I mean, yeah, I think he actually. I mean, for tax reasons, we should say that he's not, but I think with the amount that he gets in and out, he could definitely set up a business.
He actually needs to move to Spain or something.
Yeah. So I mean, that's some pretty awesome stuff. How about your favorite guitar out of Steve's collection? Because I know he's got some beautiful guitars, and I think we definitely need to start sharing some of those on the group. So what was your standout there, Matt?
This time round, probably his Exotic, which is not a brand I've heard of before. It's the guys who make the little SP compressor and the SP drive and stuff, the pedal manufacturer. They're now making guitars that are in the same price bracket as a Sewer.
Oh.
And this thing is fantastic. It's got a roasted maple neck on it that's got some weird oil that they won't tell anybody what it is. And it just feels absolutely fantastic. It's a HSS Strat style guitar. Yeah. You can get all sorts of tones out of it. It's really versatile. I think Chris was probably the same. I think it was probably Chris's favourite guitar as well.
Yeah, it did feature quite heavily, didn't it?
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. It was either that or the 349.
I was just about to say that as well. Yeah, because the photos that you guys were sharing was that Exotic and the 349.
Yeah, I know Carl really liked the Eric Clapton Strat, and as did Chris. In fact, Chris is thinking about buying a Strat and putting the vintage noiseless with the
TBX tone boost.
The mid boost. Yeah. But I think for guitar of the day, I think probably the Exotic or the 349 for me. We didn't actually get any of Steve's Les Pauls out this time, otherwise it would have been the CC5 Donna, which is just the greatest guitar that has ever been built ever.
I mean, that's quite an accolade there. And just swinging it back round to, I think this might have been at Peach as well. A couple of weeks ago, you were on the podcast absolutely slating the Matt Heafy signature Epiphone.
Yes, I was. It wasn't actually at Peach. This was on the Monday morning. So Monday was my birthday. I was flying back and popped into GAC.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't coming home till the evening. And we saw one of the Matt Heafys, and in person they look a lot better than they do in those stock photos that they've got. It actually looks pretty cool, like you and Andrew were saying on the podcast that I was on. I've got to retract every statement I made about it looking a bit odd and say, yeah, it does look pretty cool.
So this is our first Fret Talk redaction. This is, isn't it?
Yep.
Hey,
Take it all back.
I think that is a massive problem, though, is when you see them on, when you see guitars on photographs. The photographs never do guitars justice. You have to see them in the flesh before you can make an assessment.
I mean, especially if Gibson are taking the photos as well. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing. Go on.
I think we're still safe to absolutely slate Gibson's photographer. I think we're still in safe ground with that.
Yeah.
There have been a few faux pas in that regard, yeah.
One other thing I should say about Peach is I made a purchase this weekend.
Oh, do tell.
So I don't know whether you all remember, I said I was going to buy an Epiphone Explorer. I decided to, instead of buying that, I'd go about as opposite from it as you could possibly get. And I have on the way a Gretsch Streamliner hollow body with a Bigsby on it.
I mean, I've seen the Streamliners in person, and they look absolutely brilliant. But I've not actually tried them. So it's got to be something that's pretty impressive if it's getting you to do a U-turn on that decision.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't know how they make something that plays the way they do for the price point that they're at. I think the one I've got is 426 quid. And there's the ones without the Bigsby's are like 380 or 360. And to be able to make and brace a hollow body guitar that sounds as good as they do and has no flaws in the finish and plays as nicely as they do, I just don't know how they do it. It plays better than either the Squires that I've had that have been roughly that price point.
Yeah. Plays
better than the Mexican Strats I've had in the past. I was blown away by the quality of it. Some of the other guys tried it. None of them are really big hollow body fans, but they said, the feel of it is great. They're just, none of them are a big fan of the hollow bodies. So they weren't as impressed as I was, but yeah, it blew me out of the water. So I ended up having to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's your sound as well, isn't it? With those TV Jones style pickups and the hollow body nature. I mean, it's because your main guitar, for anyone who's missed that, is a Cabronita Tele.
Yeah,
which is very much kind of the midpoint between Gretsch and Fender, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing I probably should mention is the Cabronita is gold. What is it? Shoreline gold.
Yeah.
And my new Gretsch is gold dust. They look very similar.
So you're not deviating too far from the standard there.
Yeah. It looks great. It plays great, and I can't wait to get it.
No, I mean, I look forward to hearing from that, and we definitely need to hear some sound examples.
So it'll be on the way.
When that does arrive, I will be poking Matt as much as possible until he gets some sound clips up on our podcast group. But yeah, no, that's absolutely wicked stuff. Completely eventful week. And just, I mean, mixed emotions from me. Just pride and envy and all
of the above.
Yeah, just a whirlwind of emotions. So I think just mentioning anything of what I did this week will just pale in comparison to that, to be honest. But I'll give it a go. So my saga with finishing the pedals is still going on. I mean, I've finished 2 enclosures which look pretty cool. But the original pedal enclosure, which I mentioned last week, the paint started flaking. So I made the decision to sand it all back to zero and start again, which took pretty much the entire week because there were so many layers of paint on it. Just like really thick grit sandpaper and just so much sanding. And I've managed to make an entire mess of my my workstation, which also happens to be the kitchen. So I know, yeah, it's terrible, but I mean we're well on the way. I took it back to bare metal. I got it there yesterday night, and I've put 2 coats of primer down on it, so it's looking good. It's looking good. And like I was mentioning before the podcast started, I pulled out a couple of guitars that I haven't played in a while, and I've noticed that because of the drop in temperature, because of Britain being rather cold, the strings on my guitars are starting to seem a little bit worse for wear. So maybe some restringing is going to have to happen. Paul, is there anything that you've got of note for mentioning on this week?
Not really. Learned a couple of songs.
Cool.
Mostly been ill though.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we are all crossing our fingers and just hoping for the best for you, Paul.
Yeah. I don't really. I mean, for those obviously that aren't part of the group and don't know what's going on, I'm waiting on an operation that will either mean that I can continue with my dialysis, or I'm going to have to find another form of dialysis, or it's going to have to stop altogether. I don't know which outcome to expect. All I can do at the minute is just hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been a bit preoccupied with that this week. It's a bit of a shitter because even if it does go ahead, because of where they're going to have to put my dialysis catheter, it really in the path of where my guitar would sit.
Ooh.
So there is actually a possibility that I will have to give up the guitar for physical reasons.
Yeah. But I mean, just the fact that you've picked yourself up and you're on here with us chatting absolute bullshit about guitars is absolutely wicked. And you are always welcome, Paul. Always welcome.
Cheers.
Let's get on to some news for this week because we're like 20 minutes in already. I know.
My bad.
I know. We can waffle, can't we? So this week saw the release of the 2018 range of the PRS SE guitars. We've got some pretty interesting stuff in there, and we've got some not so interesting stuff there. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but hey ho. So I'm going to start us off. They've introduced, for the first time, I am to believe, some lefty models, which doesn't really affect any of us, but I mean, it's good news because lefties do usually get the absolute just short end of the stick, don't they?
Yeah.
So I was reading through a little bit of the article, and it was saying how they put it off for a while because they wanted to do it right, and like sourcing hardware that met their standards was finding just ending up being impossible. So they ended up buying in machines to produce the left-handed parts. So that they are really putting in some dedication to these lefty models. And
in terms of left-handed parts, I mean, what do they need apart from a bridge and a nut?
I'd assume that's it. But you've got like different types of bridge. You've got trem systems, you've got stop tails, you've got
Wrap overs.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're putting some time and effort into making sure that is right.
I always thought they made their own anyway.
Yes, but they were looking at outsourcing the left-handed stuff.
Right. Okay.
But it wasn't meeting the quality standards. And one of the things that I found really really interesting about the left-handed models that they're releasing, they're doing it in a number of finishes as well. So it's a custom 24 that they're doing, custom 24 left-handed, and they're doing it in 4 finishes as well. I'm going to read the PRS the blurb model. Yeah, the model. So we've got Fire Red Burst, which is like a kind of dark cherry burst. Tobacco Sunburst. Trampas Green.
Tampus.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be not the greatest name. Not the greatest name.
It's Tampus Grass Green.
Is it? The website I had it. There's obviously got a spelling mistake. The colour itself isn't too bad. It looks a bit like faded denim. And they're doing well blue
nice.
as well. So
yeah, the Tampus Green is like you say, it's a bit like faded denim, but it is more on the green sort of side.
Yeah.
But it is quite a nice sort of subtle colour.
Yeah, it's quite a classy look, isn't it? But, I mean, you've got the 4 finishes, whereas a lot of complaints with left-handed guitarists are that every guitar comes in black and sunburst, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that they're bringing in, I believe the whale blue is a new colour for 2018.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, so they're giving a bit more of colour options for the lefties. So that's good stuff. If you're looking at one of those, it's gonna run you £825, which it's not ridiculous for a lefty model. I would give us a whip around with that, but because none of us are lefties, I don't think we're going to be.
Keeping in mind that the normal SE range is around about £800 anyway, then it's not a massive hike, which is what we do sometimes see with left-handed guitars. Is they are a fair bit more expensive than the right-handed brethren. Yeah.
So looking at because I've got a couple of the other ones ahead, so it's looking like it's around £100 more for the left-handed stuff than it is for the standard right stuff.
Ooh, it's a bit more of a jump than I thought.
But I mean, again, it's not terrible, and considering that they've put this effort into to manufacture parts for it, it's understandable.
I dare say once they get the left-handed stuff off the ground and they start making money from it, they probably, I would hope, they'd reduce the gap between right and left-handed prices.
Yeah. I would hope so. I mean, a lot of companies, because they do much more of a limited run of the lefties, hike the prices up. But I mean, it's understandable, and hopefully with the choice that they're giving there as well, it will appease some of our Southport brethren. But we're going to move it on because we've got a couple that I want to mention in the SE range. So we've got our Blackstone Cherry chap, Chris Robertson. His single cut. So this is it's Humbucker P90, essentially their single cut take.
It's an SET45.
Yeah.
With a P90 in the neck position.
So the P90 in the neck
position. Because if you compare, Hey?
The P90 in the neck position is the standard SE P90, which I've played and they're not great. But the bridge is apparently a PRS 5708 pickup. So that sounds like something a little bit more high end, which is brilliant. It's also tappable, so you're getting a lot of tonal option out of this seemingly rock orientated guitar.
Yeah, if you compare it to the normal 245 SE, there's not a great deal of difference bar the, visually, there's not a great deal of difference bar the P90 in it.
Yeah.
They've also got a new design wraparound bridge on them.
Oh, do they?
Which actually, I'm not a great fan of wraparounds and tonomatics, but it looks badass. It really does.
Is it a wraparound that's got intonation adjustment, or is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's got like a built-in tunematic.
Ah, wicked. Because
so you've got the strings route through from underneath.
Yeah.
Then you've got individual channels for the strings that sort of wrap it over the top of the bridge, and then you've got tunematic saddle pieces in the top.
Yeah, I mean, I had an early SE. It was a 245 as well, but it was coined the soap bar, so it had the P90s, and it had one of the static wraparound bridges with it like notched intonation, but it just meant that you couldn't intonate it, because it was already kind of guessed.
Yeah.
And the intonation weren't terrible, but it weren't spot on, and that annoyed me. And also the PRS SE P90s, they made me think that I didn't like P90s. Because
I had a Soap Bar 2, which was the double cut version, and exactly the same. I hated P90s because of that guitar, because I'd never heard another P90 and just assumed all P90s sounded that bad.
Yeah,
which I turned out to be wrong.
No, P90s are delicious tone machines. But I mean, the guitar itself that I had, it was absolutely solid as a rock. And it featured the wide fat neck, which this Chris Robertson has got as well, and I really enjoyed that neck.
So does a normal 245.
Does it?
That's got the wide fat as well. In fact, I found something out about the 245s that I hadn't realised before. Do you know what the 245 refers to?
It's the scale length.
That's
I know this one.
Because the normal scale length on a PRS is 25 inch, which is sort of, it's 2/3 of the way from Strat and 1/3 of the way from Les Paul.
Yeah, it's the meeting
the
point.
245. Yeah, the 245's actually got shorter than the Les Paul because it's 24.5 inch.
Oh yeah, isn't it 24.75 for the Gibsons?
Yes, yeah, it is. Which I found quite interesting. I didn't know that before. I only learned that because of the Chris Robertson model. Sorry.
Yeah. So the pricing for that is $799. So I mean, because it's got a not a P90, a PRS humbucker in the bridge as well, it's kind of par for the course. Your standard SE 245 is, let me just look, $729. So
you're only actually paying 70 quid more to get a signature model of the same thing with a slightly different spec on it. So it's not really too bad.
Yeah,
normal signature models have a real hype to them.
Yeah, no, it's comparable, isn't it? It's comparable. I mean, if we look towards the Epi signatures that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, they were well within that ballpark.
Yeah.
Just checking, but are you sure that that's the price point? Because GAC are listing it at 849.
Yeah, this I looked at PMT online, and I think they were doing them at 799.
Right. Okay.
But yeah,
It does
I
vary
don't
from
know.
shop to shop. That's the problem. I
um,
think PMT have got a special deal on them at the minute, and see, every time I've looked at prices for products in the past, whether it be pedals, guitars, or whatever, I've actually found that there's something like £100 variation between the cheapest and the dearest. So you've just got to sort of go for middle of the range price, really,
yeah.
and then sort of expect £50 either side.
So yeah, I mean, I mean, swinging it back, it's kind of the ballpark for the PMT price is pretty spot on. Even at the other price point, it's not out of the realm, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
So moving on to the possibly the most kind of divisive one is the
I know which one you mean.
yeah, the standard 24. What's it called? Multifoil.
I thought it was a 22.
No, it was standard 24.
Oh, right, okay.
So this has a weird kind of it's almost like an oil spillage finish to it.
If anybody hasn't seen these, if like for those of us who are in sort of our 30s and beyond, if you think back to the 1990s with like the grunge era and the sort of the shredders and all the rest of it, they were getting spray paints and spraying the guitars all sorts of different colours, like a line of pink, a line of green, a line of yellow, blue, whatever. This is kind of what the PRS looks like. But what they've done is they've actually finished it in a metallic foil with those different colours.
Yeah.
Now, it's certainly eye-catching, I'll give it that. But on the flip side, it looks like a chameleon having an epileptic fit on acid.
Oh dear. Yeah.
It's so 90s, it's disgusting.
Yeah, mind you, some of the 90s colours are coming back, aren't they? I mean the neon shredder access.
The Les
we
Pauls.
were talking about a couple of weeks ago, and
Yeah, that's fine. That's a single colour.
yeah,
It doesn't look like a chameleon having a nervous breakdown.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. It just looks a bit naff.
So if we had to have a whip around now with yays or nays on the 245 gold foil, not 245, sorry, the standard 24 multi-foil, what are we saying? Matt, start us off.
I'm a nay.
Definitely a nay. Paul?
Yeah.
That was quite reserved to what I was expecting. I'm a hell no.
Yeah, I think we're getting nays all around, aren't we? We're getting...
If it was a single colour, I think it'd look pretty cool, but the fact that it's colours all over the shop, then no.
Yeah, I don't think it knows what it wants to be, does it?
No.
The last thing I've got to talk about in the SE range, it's not the last by any means, but it's the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the 245 standard. This is vintage cherry. It's a slightly more stripped back version. It's a more plain looking, almost kind of what you'd expect like a Les Paul Studio to be. And the price point for that one is $475.
That's pretty good price point for a PRS SE.
Yeah,
That is.
I mean that's kind of why I wanted to mention it. The fact that they do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I don't think we mentioned the price of the multifoil, which was $826. So £1 more.
And I say 126 too much.
Yeah, it was £1 more expensive than a lefty. And to be honest, I'd probably prefer the lefty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it goes down to 275, which I think is the cheapest within their range, which is mind-boggling, isn't it? I mean, you're talking what, Epiphone Les Paul standard for that? Something around that price. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't bought an Epiphone in a long time. But yeah, I think kind of the standard range. None of the fancy spec versions, just the standard range for that. So yeah, pretty cool. Out of the range, which one would you be most interested in looking at maybe purchasing, Paul?
That's a really hard one for me because I've played. See, I know there's two neck patterns with PRS. They've got a thin fat,
slim
and a
fat and wide fat, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've played a slim fat, and I found. Right, the thing is, PRSs look exciting. I'll make no bones about that, and they sound awesome.
Yeah.
But to play, I actually find them very sterile.
Yeah.
They just don't really sort of they don't encourage any real feelings when I'm playing one.
Yeah.
So
doesn't give you wood.
It's really hard to. No, the wood doesn't give me wood. So it's really hard to say. But I think out of if I had to, if somebody said, right, you've got to choose one of those and nothing else, I would probably go for the Chris Robinson.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I might be tempted to go for the 245 standard, the stripped back one, but I think the P90 humbucker experience for me would be brilliant if I took out the PRS P90 because they are shocking, or they were at least last time I tried one. Matt, what's your choice from the lot?
I'd be going with the standard vintage Cherry, the 245 that you just talked about for that price point. The PRS SE. The only thing that
the vintage Cherry, not the Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about my PRS was the fact that those P90s sounded like dog turd.
Yeah, the fact that it weren't multi-foil finish. Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly what I said. You just quoted my words back at me.
It was the one thing it was missing: a garish and distasteful finish.
Yeah, my only problem with that is it's got those stupid birds inlays, and I don't like them. I want a dot inlay.
Yeah, just get a Dremel on it.
It's all right. I'll just colour them in with marker pen.
Yeah, just get for 475 you could get a decent set of Sharpies as well with the change, couldn't you? And then you're sorted.
Yeah.
Right, so
sounds like a good plan.
We've got to move on to an exciting release that was released, but then not released, and then released, and then is it released? Who knows? The Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. Deluxe. Matt, you are somewhat of a master of this because you played one very, very recently, didn't you?
Yes. Before I came home, I managed to get my hands on one of these Wampler Tumnus Deluxe.
Ooh, well.
So the standard Tumnus is a mini pedal, and it's got volume, gain, and treble.
Okay.
And then the new Tumnus Deluxe has got bass and middle, and it's got a switchable buffer on the right hand side of the thing, and it's in a full size box rather than a mini box.
It's also got a hot switch.
Yes, it's got a
toggle
standard and hot, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so the left hand side is your standard and the right hand side is hot.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Possibly the most subtle toggle switch you've ever used in your life. The difference in the vintage and the hot is the difference in like a 32nd of an inch change on the gain knob. So it's very, very subtle. To me, I really struggled to hear the difference when I was playing it. Personally, considering it's 229, and I think the standard, the mini Tumnus is 179. I'd be sticking with the mini. I think having a switchable buffer,
yes,
is a great idea, but stick it inside the box. Don't have it pointing out the side, because you're not going to get to the middle of a gig and go, actually, I want the buffer off for this next song. I think that's a feature that is added to say that it's there rather than to do anything.
So, coming at it from a different angle, I think if you were going to put a pedal board together, and you didn't know where you wanted the Tumnus, having that easy switchable option, it saves a giant pain in the ass of having to open up the back and find a dip switch somewhere and figure that you've turned the wrong dip switch and now it's a metal zone. And so
that well-known metal zone Tumnus.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a secret switch. Brian's got a great sense of humour, so I wouldn't doubt it for a second. So yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but yeah, it's not. I don't see it. I would have my buffer set one way and I'd leave it there.
Yeah. It's something that you might plan prior to putting a board together. So, what's your final final thoughts and opinions on it, Matt?
I think I've been fairly clear in that I wouldn't buy one. I do want one, but I want a mini rather than the full size. I think the extra features are not enough.
Yeah.
Warrant picking the other one up, so I think I'd just go for the mini Tumnus. I think it's got everything that particular pedal needs.
On the plus side, with this deluxe coming out now, and lots of Wampler fanboys dropping their Tumnuses in place of the new deluxe, you might find some bargains to be had on the old used market.
I'm hoping so.
So fingers crossed.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I'd be happy with either, to be honest. How about yourself, Paul? What are your opinions of the Tumnus?
Well, all I've managed so far is a few like sound clips, but from what I've heard of it, I like the idea of the switchable buffer. Like you say, it gives you a lot more. I can't think of the word.
Versatility.
Gives you a lot more options. Versatility. It gives you a lot more options of where you're going to put it in your chain. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, having the buffer, you can have it on or off. It allows you to sort of decide what you're going to do with it, where you're going to put it in your chain, things like that. I would normally say that a 3-band EQ is always better than a 2-band, but I'll sort of leave that comment where it is at the minute. The hot mode, it is very subtle. All it sort of really does is it brings out the harmonics of each note a little bit more. But in terms of its overall sounds and what have you, to be honest, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't think it sounded great at all.
Controversial. I mean, because we know that it's based on a mythical beast of a pedal, which...
Yeah, if I was going to listen to it, I'd rather listen to the one in Narnia. But, I mean, that's just based on what I've heard from listening to it through a recording through headphones. Listening to it in the flesh through an amp of my choice with a guitar of my choice would probably be a completely different thing.
Yeah, it might change your mind.
Based on what I've actually heard, I don't really like it that much.
Okay, mixed bag. We've got one final little bit of news that we're going to go on to, because I don't think we should deliberate on the Tumnus anymore. This it's like the. you know when you watch news stories in America, and at the end you've got like that just little. It's gonna be like a squirrel on a bicycle.
Water skis.
Yeah. This is that kind of news story in the guitar world. So there's a company, I don't even know what the company's called, and the pedal, I can't even read it. Aikido drum. I've essentially written it down that it's a drum key for a guitar pedal. It's a little device. It almost looks like a drum key that you stick on the knobs of your pedals, and it allows you to adjust the settings on the fly with your foot rather than having to bend down and adjust your settings.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
it took us a while to figure out what the hell was going on with it, didn't it?
Sure, they haven't just put something inside a stud key from their Nike football boots and stuck that on top of it.
I think that might have been the
That's what it
design.
looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought it was the key for a gas cupboard.
So yeah, I think overwhelming positivity for this one.
Opinions clear.
Yeah.
I mean,
if we haven't, then it really is pointless because you're going to spend more time when you're switching the pedal on and off. You're going to spend more time.
Yeah, kicking the settings.
I won't use the word I was going to, but you're going to spend more time trying to adjust the setting back to where it was than you are actually using the pedal.
Yeah. I mean, just my playing generally, I'm very much a set and forget kind of guy. There's very little tweaking on the fly for me.
Yeah, that's one thing that annoys me is when somebody sort of kicks a pedal in and then they have to sort of bend down and start jiggling about with it. It's like, just leave it alone.
Yeah, I think these are the kind of pedal users that were being shunned by a certain blues guitarist last week.
Not necessarily, because one of my favourite bands, the guitarist is not a massive user of pedals, but he has this horrible habit of whenever he uses his delay, he'll kick it in and then decide that he actually wants a slightly different setting, so then he'll bend down and change the time or the repeats on it. And it's like, look, just stand up, fucking play your guitar. I don't want to see what you're doing with your pedals. They should be set and that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't diminish my love for him as a guitar player. It doesn't diminish my love for the band. But it's just that little niggle when I'm trying to sort of watch stuff that they've done live.
Yeah, and so maybe you might want to drop him a little email and tell him about this. I don't even know what it's called. Let's have a look, because my writing's terrible.
Gas cupboard key?
Yeah, gas cupboard key. It looks like I've written a Aikido, but it's not, because that's quite clearly a martial arts style. So yeah, you're gonna have to do your own Googling. Just Google bit of a weird drum key, gas cupboard key, stud key. So yeah,
I dread to think the results that I'll get.
I'm glad that we could be helpful in promoting products for our audience.
Well,
here.
you're the closest one to finding out what it actually was. Me and Matt just went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. And on that bombshell, we're going to move straight to questions before we butcher any more news.
It's called an OK knob.
Okay knob.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's the website is optionknob.com, which
so that's what I meant to write.
How you type that in?
It also tells you the type of person that goes there.
Lovely person. Yeah. Right. So let's move on to some questions, shall we? Because
we've got some awesome ones.
We've got a good 10-minute run here, and we've got some absolutely belting questions.
Just before we go into that, they've got a glow in the dark one as well. So they're not just a standard white. They've got a glow in the dark one. Oh my dear God!
They have thought of everything, haven't they? They have thought of everything.
Oh, the off-air comments are going to be absolutely hysterical. Indeed. We need to do an outtakes.
Yeah, I might record the outtakes of this one and hold you all to ransom for the things that you said.
No comment.
Right. Anyway, so we're going to start off with an extremely important question that's on everyone's lips. I can't even remember who the person who sent this in because I didn't have a lot of space on my piece of paper. So a listener asked the best amp for finding Nirvana tones under £100. So have we got any suggestions?
The straightforward answer to that is the one that's in his head. Basically, I actually went through a list of the stuff that Nirvana used.
Yeah.
And to find anything that's going to sound anything like that for $100, you really are going to be looking for a miracle. Let me put it this way. Kurt's standard amplifier was a Mesa Mark III.
Yeah.
Where are you going to find anything that sounds like that for less than $100?
No, I mean,
it's just not going to happen.
Even if you times that figure by 10, you'd still be struggling to find Mesa money, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But that was his standard amp. He used a shitload of others besides that. For his lead tone, he would front that up with a Mesa 2.2 preamp. Again, you're going to be looking at series wanting to get one of them.
Yeah.
Even second hand. But then you've got Marshall JMP 50s, 68 Fender silver faces, Vox AC 30s that were used on Nevermind, a 59 Plexi SLP. And that's before you even get onto the pedals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I appreciate that people want a sound on a budget, but you're not going to find it in an amp.
No.
I think his best bet is going to be to look at some of the older multi-effects units, something like a Zoom 707 or Boss ME8 or something like that, because you'll be able to pick them up dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Probably around about the 707 was £100 brand new, so I'd imagine you could probably get it for about £50 now.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be his best bet rather than looking at the amplifier. He's going to need to look at a multi-effects unit.
I mean, my suggestion for him was something along those lines, to be honest. I was trying to probe into seeing whether he needed an amplifier or whether it was just a solution where he could plug it in and sound like Nirvana. Because if that's the case, I used to own a Line 6 amplifier footboard, the FX100. And using the app to interface with that, you can download user presets based on certain tones. And that worked really well. I never tried Nirvana, but I tried a couple of Deep Purple tracks, and it had this really cool feature where if you played a track into it, it would suggest tones based on the artist or based on the song itself.
That is actually pretty cool.
Right now, listeners, the audio from the rest of the podcast, which contains the rest of the questions, has buggered up. So, unfortunately, that won't be included in this podcast. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So I'm gonna have to do the outros all by myself. So if you want to find me, you go instagram.com/budgetpedalchap. You go facebook.com/budgetpedalchap. There's the YouTube as well. Find it in the links in the show notes. So we had Paul Mason on. You find him at don'tpanic.co.uk or .com or facebook.com/don'tpanicblackpool. And you had Matt Quine on this episode as well, which is facebook.com/switchiom. So that's where you find our hosts if you feel so inclined. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to us on all of the different methods, the Acast, Stitcher, iTunes. The ratings really help us get noticed and help the momentum of the podcast build up. So that's really, really kind of important to us. So if you could do that, that'd be wicked. So yeah, we're going to end on my apology this week, and I'm going to try and work out the gremlins in the system, and make that perfect for next time. But hey ho. So from myself, from a remote Matt Quine and a remote Paul as well, it's going to be goodbye this week. Bye guys.